Remembering Robert Redford, the top 10 moments that prove he was one of the last great movie stars and the legacy he leaves behind. Today we say goodbye to one of cinema's true legends. Robert Redford, who passed away on September 16, 2025, at the age of 89, wasn't just a movie star. He was a filmmaker, environmentalist, champion of independent cinema, and the living embodiment of Hollywood's golden age. As we mourn his loss, we also celebrate a remarkable life lived entirely on his own terms. In an industry notorious for compromise, Redford stood firm in his convictions, creating a legacy that transcends his films to touch virtually every aspect of American cinema. There are stars, and then there are luminaries, reflected director Steven Soderbergh when hearing of Redford's passing. Robert Redford illuminated not just the screen, but the entire filmmaking landscape. He showed us all a different path, one where artistic integrity and commercial success weren't mutually exclusive. What made Redford's passing particularly poignant was how much of himself he kept private throughout his extraordinary career. Unlike today's celebrities who share every detail of their lives, Redford maintained a dignified reserve that made his rare moments of candor all the more meaningful. He understood something fundamental about stardom that seems almost forgotten today, noted film historian Leonard Maltin. The power of mystique. Redford knew that by sharing less, what he did share meant more. There was always something beneath the surface, something you couldn't quite reach. And that's what kept us watching for over 6 decades. As we look back on his remarkable journey from television actor to Hollywood legend to champion of independent film, these 10 defining moments reveal not just what made him a star, but what made him a singular figure in American cultural history. A man who used his fame not as an end in itself, but as a tool to create something more enduring than celebrity. In honor of his passing, we present these 10 moments that defined Robert Redford's extraordinary life and career. Snapshots that capture not just his artistic achievements, but the principles that guided him throughout his remarkable journey. The moments that defined a legend. Number 10. The cliff jump in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969. It's the scene that made him a household name. Cornered by relentless pursuers, Butch and Sundance find themselves at the edge of a cliff with a raging river hundreds of feet below. When Butch suggests jumping, Sundance hesitates, eventually admitting with perfect deadpan delivery, "I can't swim." Butch erupts into laughter. "Are you crazy? The fall will probably kill you." This moment perfectly encapsulated what made Redford different from other leading men of his era. While others emoted grandly, Redford understood the power of restraint, communicating volumes through the slightest shift in expression or perfectly timed pause. That scene revealed Bob's secret weapon as an actor, reflected director George Roy Hill before his passing in 2002. He trusted the audience's intelligence. He didn't feel the need to telegraph every emotion. He invited viewers to lean in, to engage, to meet him halfway. The cliff jump scene also cemented the legendary chemistry between Newman and Redford that would make the film a cultural phenomenon. Their partnership continued in The Sting and evolved into one of Hollywood's most enduring friendships. "Paul and I connected because we approached fame similarly," Redford once confided in a rare interview. "We both understood it was something to be used carefully, not squandered." Now with both Newman and Redford gone, this iconic scene takes on additional poignancy. A reminder of a golden age of American film when movie stars carried both gravitas and grace. Number 9. Founding the Sundance Institute and Film Festival, 1981 to 1985. Perhaps no single action better illustrates Redford's impact beyond the screen than his creation of the Sundance Institute and Film Festival. At the height of his commercial power, when most stars would focus solely on their next blockbuster, Redford instead looked to the future of the medium he loved. Hollywood was changing in the early 1980s, Redford explained years later. Studios were becoming increasingly corporate, increasingly risk-averse. I could see independent voices being squeezed out of the conversation. Someone needed to create space for those voices. What began as the modest Utah/US Film Festival evolved under Redford's guidance into the Sundance Film Festival, eventually becoming the most influential independent film showcase in the world and launching the careers of directors who would transform American cinema. Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, the Coen brothers, Darren Aronofsky, Ava DuVernay, Ryan Coogler. The list of filmmakers who got their break at Sundance reads like a who's who of modern cinema's most distinctive voices. What made Sundance truly revolutionary was that Redford used his star power not for self-aggrandizement, but to elevate others, noted film critic Roger Ebert before his death in 2013. He understood that true legacy isn't just about what you create yourself, but what you enable others to create. As news of Redford's passing spread, tributes from Sundance alumni poured in, many crediting him for careers that might never have existed without his vision and support. He built the ladder and held it steady while we climbed, wrote director Ava DuVernay. He changed not just what stories got told, but who got to tell them. In his final years, Redford stepped back from day-to-day involvement with Sundance, but remained its spiritual compass. His passing marks the end of an era, but the institution he built ensures his vision will continue to shape cinema for generations to come. Number 8. The Way We Were, 1973. Chemistry with Barbra Streisand. When Sydney Pollack cast Redford opposite Barbra Streisand in The Way We Were, many predicted disaster. Streisand was known for her powerful emotionality, while Redford had built his career on restraint. Their acting styles seemed fundamentally incompatible. What emerged instead was one of cinema's most heartbreaking love stories precisely because of this contrast. As the politically passionate Katie Morosky and the emotionally guarded Hubble Gardner, Streisand and Redford created a relationship that felt achingly real in its portrayal of two people who love each other deeply but remain fundamentally incompatible. The film's devastating final scene, where Katie gently brushes Hubble's hair from his forehead one last time while saying goodbye, continues to reduce audiences to tears nearly 5 decades later. Upon hearing of Redford's passing, Streisand shared a poignant tribute. Some screen partnerships are just chemistry. What Bob and I had was alchemy, something that transformed us both. He made me a better actor by giving me something real to push against. I'll forever be grateful for those moments we created together. This dynamic revealed one of Redford's most underappreciated qualities as a movie star, his generosity as a scene partner. Unlike many leading men who demanded the spotlight, Redford understood that his performance would be strengthened, not weakened, by allowing his co-star to shine. Bob never approached a scene thinking, "How can I stand out here?" Sydney Pollack once explained. He always thought about the relationship between the characters, the truth of the moment.